What's cracking, people? How are ya? I'm just going to do a quickie. Mind you, none of my Facebook, that's a lie, none of my Facebook lives are quick. I just wanted to share just sort of my learnings over the past few days about kind of what it brought up for me, and I guess what I've learned, what I can pass it on, and that's the big thing there, is what I've actually learned. So a friend of mine, my friend of mine said, Patty, I've got tickets to Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, and come with me. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to go there. I know everything. I actually didn't say that to her. I just said, oh no, it's right. Within I just said, oh no, I know everything. And then I stopped myself probably a couple of days later and I went, well, but do you? Have you got a $1 billion business like Anthony Robbins? And I just thought, man, Patty, you are far out. You're pretty out there that you think that much of yourself that you don't need any more help. And I guess that's why I wanted to do this video, because lots of strong people, and I'm talking about like mentally strong, and that's who I am. But there's also, we do have our, I suppose, our brick walls, or our own blind spots. And my blind spot was, I've always had to be strong because I've allowed people in my life that have just absolutely pummeled me, whether it be physically, whether it be physical abuse or mental abuse. And so I've just thought, well, I don't want to ever do that again. Don't ever want to get hurt like that again. So I'm just going to be strong as fuck, and I'm just not going to let anyone get past these walls again. But then it also, as something like, it also doesn't, for me, I just am very hard at receiving help from anyone. I will give everything to everyone else. I literally, to the point of my own detriment. Oh my God, even to my kids, I'm like outpouring all this love, and they've been the most ungrateful little fuckers ever. And I just keep giving it and giving it, but they need tough love, and then everyone else out there that I've been just giving and giving. While some people are very appreciative, there's some people that just, I just don't want it or not ready for it. And the biggest reminder for me is, I guess, how much I do know, but that I can start serving people without the ego, without my big fat ego, and I'll just be real as possible, which I am. But even go to that extra level, really up level myself. And so, and our limiting beliefs, I'm like, oh my God, it was also a reminder about where to pick 3 limiting beliefs. Hey Karen. And what I always love is, when I've been, even with my friends or working with clients, is I see people's darkness. Seriously, I actually meet people and I'm like, okay, I see their darkness, but also see the light in them as well. And so it's that yin yang, or that light and dark, whatever you like to call it, that I actually see that, but then I see a different picture of how it could be. And it's a little bit hard when you're doing it on yourself, and so that's why I loved being in the room with Anthony Robbins, because he was able to show my darkness up, like I guess I do for others. So that was fucking pretty epic. So I'm going to share with you, I had 3 limiting beliefs. Which one should I share with you? My first one, the person I went with, she just saw it and she just laughed her ass off, and it was real for me. So my first one was, I am a shit mother. That was my first limiting belief. And we had to list everything that's played out because of that. So I had to list out, the kids have been, not all of them, but some of them have been in trouble with the police, have been back and forth to court, there's been drugs, and the list goes on. But then we had to show, but what else is showing up? And so that was huge for me. So I just, at the end of it, when I realized I am not a shit mother, I am fucking empowered mother, and that by me doing what I do, I'm showing them the way. And if that's my boys' journey, then that's their journey. I have given them enough love, I've shown them the way, and if it's their choice to go the other way, that is not on me. So that was one of my limiting beliefs. The other one, which I'm totally out there with sharing, is, so I left my husband, I think about 6 years ago, and I had never ever been single since I was the age of, I think, 15. So like he was my second major partner, but I've had like, you know, I had one significant partner, and then I had lots of fun, and then I had another significant partner, but I had never ever been single since the age of 15. And I thought, you know what, I want to be single, and I want to really just connect with me and be single, because my mother, I think when I was about to leave, my husband said, you can never be single because you always need a man around. And I'm like, bitch, please. I didn't say it to her face, but I'm like, I can be single. So I think it started out just, thanks Karen, I think it just started out as a challenge, like, oh, fuck you, mum, like, I can be single, I don't need no man. And so I literally was like, okay, that's it, I'm gonna be single, like really do some inner work. And so that's why we did all this, like on my journey to teach others about sex and intimacy. I also went out and just fully immersed myself in all that kind of teaching. And so it's probably been, I'm trying to think, I think it's been 5 or 6 years where I've been single. And what brought it up for me was, one of my limiting beliefs was, I am, as a Paddy, that I am too much and I'm too strong for my soulmate. I know. And then we had to list everything that's showing up. And obviously I kept attracting men that were beneath me, and I don't mean like I'm better than them, but just where we went on the same vibration, we didn't believe in the same things, we didn't have the same values, and the list goes on. And of course that kept showing up because I believed I was too much, and I was too much for those men. And so I just went, yeah, I am pretty out there, and I am like this, blah blah blah. So once I realized that was a huge limiting belief, and the main one is probably what is because I am strong. And then I think, well, I've been hurt like hugely in the past, so I'm going to be strong and I'm going to protect myself so I don't get hurt. And I don't need to do that anymore. No, Karen, I've created drama. So Karen's just said, haven't you found him yet? And I went, no. As I said, I've lowered my expectations and what I wanted in a man, but also I thought I was choosing to be single, and then I created drama, like by having children that were just being little, like seriously, probably the last year it's probably been the hardest for me as a person, because I'm very strong mentally, and but emotionally it was really drowning. So I just created that drama so then I didn't have to be open to my soulmate. So I'm totally being purely like open and sharing with you, because it'll resonate with someone watching and goes, oh my God, I do that shit too. I go, I don't need a man, or I don't need a woman, like men would say. So someone just tried to call. And although, you know, we've got all these excuses, whatever your shitty belief is, but I'm just fully saying out there. And one of the reasons I'm putting it on social media, because it's like, that's the best way, because you can tell all your friends, but you can also tell everyone else, or help someone else out there as well. And I mean, that's what I'm all about. So I've just shared my shitty beliefs with you, man. If you have some, just put them in the comments and we can all like celebrate and laugh at them, because sometimes when you speak to your darkness and you actually admit it, that's when the next step to like changes or growth. I mean, that's the only way we can do it. So I hope my awesome limiting beliefs have helped you. And yes, my voice, I'm looking like it's really nice and warm here in Sydney, but I've got a scarf on because I'm trying to like protect my throat. I didn't lose it through being at Tony Robbins, but I was getting a little bit just before I arrived, and so I've got a gig on this Sunday where I'm an MC all day, so I have to look after myself. Karen says you haven't found him, he has not yet arrived. Maybe you're getting ready. Yeah, maybe. And you know what women are like, Karen, they take an hour to get ready. So yeah, I'm fully saying fuck yes, I'm ready. But I hope it's helped someone out there that's listening, and you know, like, get help. If you know, don't be a stubborn ass motherfucker like I was. Get help, man. It's just, oh my God, as human beings we just think that we have all the answers, or we're so, I think, crippled by our own shitty beliefs that we just stay stuck, or we're too shy to ask for help, or, you know, there's so many like reasons why we do this shit. Thanks, Rach. Yes, and you're fuck yes, I'm so fully fuck yes, yeah. And my mum's, I love my mum, like, fuck I love my mum, but she's like a deep Christian woman. I'm glad she doesn't have Facebook, because yeah, she saw half the stuff I wrote on there, all said on there, she'd be like, oh my God. Actually, I've got to tell you a little bit of story about my mum, and then I'm going to sign off, because my ride, I'm catching up with friends I haven't seen in like 5 years, and we're going out for brekkie before I fly back home. One of my dad was, because he passed away about 5 years ago, he was the biggest party man, the biggest player, hence what, like, that's why I do my For JJ Diary shows, because I like to share like all the funny stories. Anyway, my dad was like the opposite of my mum. So we've got my mum's a good Christian woman, she's like lives her life by the Bible to a T, and then I've got my dad on the other side who would just like party. He was a womanizer, like we all knew about, we just laughed. It was, you know, anyway, big thing. And I was telling my mum, and I don't know how she stayed with my dad for that long, considering he was the type of man that he was, and she is like she is. Anyway, for New Zealanders, we've got these natural spiritual gifts. I mean, I don't know about any other culture, but for Māori, we've got these gifts that we like know how to connect to the earth, the whenua, the land, and we really know how to tap into it. But it can be as scary as hell to have these kind of gifts, because like for me, I was brought up that all that kind of stuff is taboo, you know, we should only be praying to God and blah blah blah, and that's all Satan stuff. And while there is all that kind of stuff out there, for me, mine's just like natural stuff for me. Like I use my intuition strong, I get I didn't realize that they were called messages when I was young. I just thought that everyone thought like I did. Anyway, I was talking to my mum, we were just catching up, and she told me this awesome news, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. I says, oh, but it was something about our family that anyway, and I said, oh my God, you need to tell her that she needs to connect with her mum, because and my mum goes, yes, I know. And I went, no, mum, seriously, tell her she needs to connect with her mum. And it's not about forgiveness, but her dad's been telling her lies for most of her life about her mum. It just came out of my mouth, right? My mum said immediately, how do you know that stuff? And I'm like, what? She goes, who have you been talking to? And I went, I don't know, it just came out my mouth. And she goes, no, you haven't talked to anyone about that, so how could you know that? And I went, and then as soon as my mum said that, I went, yeah, how did I know? Oh, that's right. I went, oh, anyway, I've got to go, Mum. Why I'm telling you this story is, if you have gifts, or if you have something that you're afraid of and you don't want to come out of the closet, don't let your family, friends or whatever hold you back. Look, I love my mum like dearly. I probably would never tell her, because for fear of like it would probably be her worst nightmare. But I'm still owning what I have, and I just don't need to rub it in my mum's face, and that is me. So I'm leaving now, so power to you sisters and brothers, and if you see me in the street, say hi Jane, I'll see you in about a month, I think, girlfriend. Okay, take care, I've got to go, bye for now.